Traders, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about AMC. Now, I'm going to be running down some of the news that came out yesterday. That was kind of some FUD to get some people to sell. I don't believe anyone's selling. It looks extremely strong. Now, in the video, I'm going to go over where specifically I'm looking to get some more entries as far as options, and then as well as getting some stock as well. Yes, I said stock. So if you catch me live on Monday, there's a massive % chance you might catch me buying about $10,000 worth of AMC options. I know, I'm that guy now. But we don't need to waste any more time. There is a lot of information we need to cover here in this video. I need to run down the charts. I need to cover some of this FUD as well and disprove some of the stuff going on. Let's attack it. Let's get to it. Let's not waste any more time. Like, subscribe, do what you gotta do. Let's go. Okay, so I'm going to try to run through this as quickly and as efficiently as possible, so bear with me. If I'm talking fast, if I'm mumbling, I'm sorry, but let's get to it. This was an article released yesterday. They're basically going over AMC and Disney, but Disney, and they're kind of relating them pretty good. It's a pretty good article. However, I want to disprove what they're talking about, and you all know I do not BS. I'm straight to the point. I am brutally honest no matter what the stock is. I am not biased. Now with this article, it is 100% stupidity. Let's get to it. So Disney had earnings, if you don't know. And with Disney's earnings, they announced some kind of detrimental news if you were just looking from the outside in. So what they're going to do is they're going to give a runway of 45 days to these movie theaters, and then they're going to start streaming on their platform. This is better than what people thought. People thought it was going to be immediately streamable and immediately watchable on the platform, and then you could go to the movie theaters. You had to pick either way. Now there's a 45-day period that they're not going to be streaming it. That's really good news. So the fact that they don't cover this in the article, complete FUD. Stupidity, dumb. Now let's keep going on. Let's read exactly what this analyst says because it is stupid, and I don't think it's that big of a deal. So let's see. There's going to be a lot of movies where you just say, I'll wait and I'll see it at home. In the movie theater business, economically, it means this is going to make less money. Rich Greenfield, remember the name because we're about to go over that dude. He is a ding-dong. This is one of the reasons we have a sell rating on AMC, aka he most likely is a shorter. F's in the chat. So we're going to come over to his Twitter here in a second, but let me explain why I don't think it's that big of a deal. Now, if this was any other streaming service, Paramount, for instance, that's going to be kind of a big one in my opinion. This is going to explain why I don't believe it's that big of a deal. Every single movie coming out from Disney, 90% of them, you're going to want to see those in theaters. Now, I'm one of the people that have said streaming services will disrupt the movie theater business. It will. But Disney is not going to be the streaming service to do so. Let's think about it. Any single Disney movie that your kid wants to watch as far as animated series, you want to take them to the movies to see that. I have a 3-year-old. He wants to experience that in the theaters. Now, he'll watch it at home. He'll rewatch them and stuff like that. Of course, you always rewatch those shows with your kids. They're always going to be rewatching the same show. You remember when you were a kid, you watched the same movie over and over and over. Kids are the same way. However, when you take them to the theater to watch that same movie, for the first time, they like that experience. I mean, I just took my kid to see Tom and Jerry and some other one, but like they like that overall experience. Now, maybe you're not taking them every single month or anything like that, but as far as Frozen and some of these other big names that came out and were such a big deal, they had a huge impact at theaters, and kids loved them. It was kind of like a whole movement. I don't really get it, but it is what it is. Now we need to go over to the Marvel side. Now people are saying, well, Marvel's going to be streamable. Those are the movies that even adults want to see in public. Now, people are fanboying over Chris Hemsworth. I mean, look at the hair. Look at the muscles. Look at the deep, brutal Australian voice. You don't get that at your home. You don't get the Dolby Cinema, OLED screen, surround sound pulsing through your pectoral muscles. No, you don't get that at home. No. Grown men want to see that man in public. Chris Pratt. You want to see that in public. You want to see that in person at theaters. Okay? All jokes aside, these are the movies that out of all of them, you're going to want to see in theaters. Personally, I can't wait to see The Immortals, the new Batman, which isn't a Disney movie, but still, those are going to be pretty big in theaters. So this is a bad argument for him to have. I believe it's an argument to have down the road with some of the more drama movies and stuff like that. But as far as this, bad, stupid argument, very bad. Now, let's go over his Twitter. This man is a 110% boomer, and I don't think he even knows what the internet is or if he's even been on Reddit, because overall, the economy is changing. Stocks are changing. And if you don't know, every stock is going down, but Reddit is winning. If you don't know at all, they are winning. This week, every single index plummeted, but guess what was going up? Every single meme. They're saying this can't go on, but guess what? It's a free trade economy, and it most likely will continue. This is the man you are fighting against. This man, in my opinion, represents Citadel, Melvin, and just kind of an overall viewpoint of what they look like. A schmuck. Now, if we look at this guy, it kind of just shows you where your head is. Okay, so with media, I always recommend, especially with YouTube, you need to back up what I'm saying. You need to go back and say, well, is Tyler being right about like the viewership of Disney? Is this a good argument? Does this make sense? I recommend it, and if I'm lying, comment down below, and I'll make a correction video, and I'll say, okay, I was lying, I was wrong. I don't delete videos either, so yeah, there's that. Anyway, so let's go over this guy's account, and let's see exactly how he's trying to get people to sell. The first thing he does, he wakes up yesterday morning. Hey, Adam, CEO, did you actually tell a retail investor to go onto his show? He already went onto his show, boomer. So obviously you haven't followed along on YouTube. So that's not very smart. Trade, shout out. There you go. You got to hate now from the hedgies as well. This dude, absolutely confused. I mean, look at his face. He's like, dude, stocks go up, AMC go down. So this is the main tweet everyone's talking about. And everyone's like, oh man, this is so bad. There was a 90-day window. Was this, was that? If you don't know, the reason why AMC was taking a hit back in like March and February was because they had the big ordeal going over streaming services. It was going to be an instant window. It was not going to be a 90-day window. It was going to be instantaneous. So they're just like completely ignoring that. And that's what manipulators do. That's what people do when they want to take advantage of you. Here on YouTube, here in the media, everywhere in the world, they manipulate to get the facts that they want to get across. That's the way the world works. So looking here, Disney just announced the theatrical window to only 45 days starting in August. No word yet on they will hit Disney Plus for day 46, but hard to believe that is coming. This is a major negative for movie expedition business as it erases hopes of ever recovering to prior highs. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so we're going to go to the chart in here in a second. But like I said, I think I already argued this case. I think I already pointed out some really good for instances. And if you look historically on the biggest days and the majority of the money made for these movies, let's be real, it's the first 45 days. It's the first month. No one's going to see the brand new Marvel movie 50 days later. That doesn't even make sense. By then, you've already bootlegged it anyways. So let's just come to that conclusion that we live in a world where this has already somewhat happened. So the 45-day window is not that big of a deal. If it was instantaneous, that would probably be a bigger deal. But it's not, so you have that good news for you. Now, I want to look at the chart. I want to show you my exact buy-in range where I'm looking for this week. I don't think the chart looks that bad. I've gone over it a few times, but I want to cover everything specifically in depth as quickly as possible. If you have questions during this part of the video, comment down below. I'll try to answer. Now, I can't tell you where to buy in. I can never do that. What I can do is tell you where I'm buying in, where my positions are going to be at. That's what I'll do. And if you want to fact check these, I will be live throughout the week. I have been live previously. I live sold my last options when I made around 30K overall on those. Okay, I did it all live. There's no sketchiness. There's complete transparency here on the channel, and I want to remain that way throughout the foreseeable future. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna look at the chart. Obviously, we had a massive trend. I mean, I don't typically draw the triangles, but you can see the trend in which we were trading. A pure downward pennant. We broke down to the downside, bottomed out, and shot back to the upside. Massive volume followed that move, which indicates, in my opinion, that's where the momentum is. Let's keep going. Now, the focal point on long-term viewpoints, in my opinion, is always going to rely here in the OBV. This is the biggest indicator for me. Now, on Friday in the live stream, I explained this was the strongest indicator that we were not done and that we were not going to plummet. However, I did see some downside, which is what I'm going to go to here in a second. So if you're options trading, you're going to want to listen to the short-term stuff here I'm going to mention here in a little bit. But long-term, this is the really important part for the holders out there. You had a massive breakout of this range. This was a huge mental breakthrough, in my opinion, for AMC, for back holders, whatever it may be. This indicated the volume was here on AMC. This indicated that there is potentially a massive breakout. The last time we had this range, it was a slow break, and then we shot up. That's when we went from around $11, $10, all the way to $14 in the matter of 1 to 2 days overall. Very quick action. Now, I think things are differently this time. I think things are stronger this time. Tradus made a video as well going over some key technicals, some Ortex, and a lot of first-time signals coming out on AMC on that platform, which tend to be pretty reliable from what I've read. So I do want to point that out as well, so go check that out if you need to get some more information. I recommend that you're watching other videos as well. You know, line all of our stuff up. I recommend using them all as indicators. Now, if some of them contradict each other, I recommend looking for yourself, fact checking it, trying to educate yourself on these situations as well. Don't use this as, okay, Tyler bought, I'm buying. Trey bought, I'm buying. This guy bought, I'm buying. That's not the way it should work. Use us as indicators, people. We are not financial advisors. Do your own DD. So as we look back at the chart, this is what I want to highlight. Key breakout, and then we're getting a retest of this range. This is my local bottom. Let's say we come out Monday and we start dropping, we need to hold this range right here. It's about 1210 down to like 1190. That's the absolute bottom. However, I don't even think it's going to be a possibility based on how we closed Friday. So I want to go into Thursday, and I also want to go into Friday as well. So as we look here, let's look. Going into Thursday, we closed above VWAP. When we closed right there, I told everyone in the next day in the video going into the end of the day, I said, look, tomorrow we are going to push. I don't know if we break 14.5, but we will push up. There's no doubt in my mind. We held this range. We're not done yet. We pushed up. We got a double top, and then we came back down. Now let's talk about this. Every time historically on the OBV and VWAP, there's been some key indicators to indicate some pullbacks. So people were saying, Tyler, why'd you sell the options? Well, we were up almost 400%, or over 400%, and we saw the pullback coming. We came underneath the VWAP. That's the biggest indicator that we're going to get a little pushback. And then we came up below the daily open. Those are two really big levels. Now, I want to mention, this dip does not look that bad. We had a long, drawn-out dip throughout the day. It wasn't bad. It wasn't immediate. It wasn't impulsive down. We didn't get a huge breakdown. We held above $12. We held above 12.6. That was the key range. We had this double bottom going on here. So Monday morning is going to be huge. Now, people are saying pre-market, after hours, we were down. It looks terrible. Guys, the same thing happened on Thursday. If you don't recall, we dropped all the way down nearly to $12 Thursday in the after hours, I believe. Yes, on Thursday. And then going into Friday morning, we popped all the way back up to 13.5, and then we went obviously back up to 14.2, 14.3 range. So the rest is history from that level. It's important to know, I think we look extremely strong. This is kind of a cool-off we needed. It's worth mentioning as well, people are talking about the gamma squeeze, the short squeeze, stuff like that. I'm going to talk about that here in a second, so bear with me. But I don't think it's that big of a deal that we didn't hold $13. This week is going to be a big deal, because if we hold those ranges, things are going to get crazy. So going into Monday, where I'm looking, I want entries personally around 12.8, maybe 12.9. I'll be live, so if I enter before then or above then obviously you'll see that as well. If by some chance, I have to sit up for this because I got to get serious. If by some chance we start just going straight up, and I'm not able to enter anything. If we break 14.5, if we break above it, I will enter every last penny. I will not buy stock if that happens. I will enter every last penny into options because, in my opinion, that is the most gorgeous scenario that could happen for the stock. If we just shoot back up above 14.5, it will be end all be all in options, send me to the moon. That's what's going on at that point. Now, I would prefer for some slower movement so I could get in at a lower level, play a little bit safer, get some stock as well. It's a little bit safer, more mitigated risk. However, if we push straight up, you need to know I will be entering roughly every penny that I made, $38,000, back into options on a longer dated call. And I must say the $40 June 18th calls look extremely risky. All options are risky. You need to know that. But they look so appetizing. I mean, those things look ridiculous, the open interest on those things. So go check them out. Okay, so what I want to talk about in the closing is going to be the gamma and the short squeeze. Now, I've talked about this previously. I don't know if you're new, whatever it may be. Let's talk about it. In my opinion, the gamma squeeze happens before any type of short squeeze. That's just the way, in theory, that it would play out. What happens is basically in the money call options expire on roughly their day. So this day coming up Friday, this is going to be a pretty heavy day for in the money call options at $14 and $15 if we hold above 15. I don't know if we hold above 15, but it's a possibility. So let's say we rocket up to $14, $15 on Friday. If we rocket up there is a high percent chance that this stock starts to fly above $20, $25 going into the next week based on a gamma squeeze of positions having to cover. From there, shorts could start to stack in as well, starting to cover those positions, and who knows what happens there. Now, people are saying, Tyler, you're saying 25 is the roof. You're saying 25 is the ceiling. I don't know what the ceiling is. I cannot tell you. No one on YouTube can tell you. But if this starts playing out perfectly, things will get crazy. A lot of money will be made. So you need to take that into account. However, looking at what's going on, I don't know if we see immediate movement on Monday. I want people to know that. And you don't need to see immediate movement on Monday. That's the important thing to know as well. You want to see this growth coming into this week, some slower, gradual growth. We're already getting the retail investors back involved from Reddit, Twitter, all social medias. People are texting me again about the stock, like they were texting me about SafeMoon and Shiba Coin and Doge. Now they're talking about AMC, a real stock, something that's a lot safer if you're really looking at it. So that's really important to know. However, the big thing for this week is $14 and $15. I'm going to continue to say that. If we hold above $14, just 14, things will start to look crazy. If we hold above $15, tell your mama, tell your daddy, because this thing's going crazy. I'm telling you, you're going to put your moon shoes on because we're about to be jumping out of this world. Things are going to be getting crazy. I'm telling you, the channel is going to be hyped. We will turn the 38K into 100K. I'm just saying it will happen if that happens. Things will go out of this world, out of control. More updates are coming, but on Monday, this is what I'm looking for. I would love to see a 12.8 touch, maybe a 12.6. We'll start laddering options back in at that level. But if we start to go straight up, if we break above 14.2, 14.3, it's all in back into options, in my opinion, for myself. That's an extremely risky position. I could afford to lose that money. I wouldn't really care. It's just money. It really does not affect me. However, I'm just being transparent and telling you guys my positions. You need to do your own research on options because they are risky. Have a good one, traders. Like, subscribe, and do what you got to do. Namaste.
Check. The grills in my mouth, double